Hello everyone, and welcome to the April 2026 Sky Report. My name is Vanessa, and I'm joined by Patrick.
Hello, stargazers.
Let's see what's happening in the skies this month. We start the month of April with an observing challenge. Before sunrise on April 19th, 20th, and the 21st, the planets Mars, Saturn, and Mercury will be visible to those with a very low and clear eastern horizon. This will be more easily visible with binoculars for any observers up to the challenge. There is a very short window to catch all three of these planets on the horizon between when they rise and when the sun rises. Once the sun is too high, the sky will be too bright and we will not be able to see them. Remember not to use binoculars once the sun has risen. Binoculars will not help once the sun rises, and it is not worth the risk of damaging your eyes.
The Lyrid meteor shower peaks on the night of the 21st to the morning of the 22nd. The meteors originate close to the star Vega in the constellation Lyrid. Under ideal conditions, we can expect 18 meteors per hour. Viewing conditions are excellent. The 30% waxing crescent moon sets before the peak hours of this shower. Additionally, the radiant will climb exceptionally high in the sky through the evening and will be nearly directly overhead at 5 a.m. No telescope is needed, just a dark sky and a blanket.
On April 25th, the moon will travel in front of and obscure the bright star Regulus during the daytime here in Los Angeles. Because it's happening during the day, a telescope and very good atmospheric conditions are needed to view this event. Regulus will be visible below the shadowed edge of the moon before the moon slips in front of it. Seen here at 4:25 p.m. PDT, just a few minutes before the occultation. The moment when the moon moves in front of the star is at 4:29 p.m. PDT. At this time, the star is nearly 30 degrees above the horizon. Regulus will reappear on the other side of the moon at 5:39 p.m. PDT, and the event will be over. At that time, Regulus will be over 40 degrees above the horizon. Regulus and the moon will continue to move away from each other. And once the sun goes down, they will be visible without a telescope and will sit a little more than a degree apart. Rising in the east this month are the constellations Hercules, Bootes, and Virgo. We also welcome back the bright star Vega in the constellation Lyra, very low on the northeastern horizon. We'll see the familiar constellation of Ursa Major, part of it known as the Big Dipper, with the handle of the dipper arcing to the bright star Arcturus in Bootes, and spiking to the bright star Spica in Virgo.
Looking west on April 15th, the western sky at 10 p.m., a final farewell to the brilliant constellations of winter. Low in the west, Orion tilts towards the horizon. Look for his famous three-star belt as the hunter slowly disappears from view. Nearby, Taurus is close behind its V-shaped face and bright star Aldebaran, slipping lower as spring takes hold. Above it, Auriga continues to shine, highlighted by the bright star Capella. A bit higher, Gemini remains a little longer, marked by the twin stars Castor and Pollux. Farther south, Sirius shines brilliantly, twinkling intensely as it makes its way towards the horizon. All the winter constellations are gone by 2 a.m.
Let's take a look at an overview of what planets we'll see this month. Throughout the month, Saturn will climb higher and higher into the early morning sky. We saw this earlier with the grouping of Mars, Saturn, and Mercury. By the end of the month, Saturn will be about 8 degrees above the horizon by 5:30 a.m., making it easier to see than that grouping of planets on the 19th through the 21st. It's still too low on the horizon for telescope viewing this month.
Jupiter remains a celestial highlight this month, perfectly positioned for evening viewing. You can find it high in the southwest sky within the constellation Gemini the Twins around 9 p.m. at the start of the month. By mid-month, Jupiter moves about 2 moon diameters eastward. On the 22nd, the near first quarter moon is about 3.5 degrees to the east of Jupiter. By the end of the month, Jupiter has drifted about 3 degrees eastward from its position at the start of the month. It is located roughly 1 moon's diameter north of the star Delta Geminorum. On this date, Jupiter sets at 12:50 a.m. By mid-month, Mars begins to emerge from the sun's glare. You may catch a glimpse of it on the 30th shortly after it rises at 5:02 a.m. Binoculars will help in spotting it against a brightening dawn sky. Mercury is located about 7 degrees east of Mars, appearing slightly higher and making it easier to see.
And here's your lunar calendar for the month. The full moon is on the 1st. The last quarter is on the 9th. The new moon is on the 17th. And the first quarter is on the 23rd. Thank you so much for joining us this month, and we'll see you again next month. Bye!
Bye!